ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So we are in the discussion about transpiration. For the last class we discussed about transpiration pull. What is transpiration pull? Last class what we discussed is, if you take for the plant, now tip of the leaf having the stomata, right? Stomata loses water and loss of water itself is called transpiration. When all liver cells are empty, at a time so much of pressure is applied to pull the water in upward direction, upward directional movement of water, upward directional movement of water. So much of pressure is created from the mesophyll cells. At a time the pressure is applied and that takes the water in upward movement, uplifts the water in upward direction. That is what we call it as transpiration pull. Transpiration pull. So why I am writing this again? Very important. In this one thing you have to remember, this is called as pulling force. This is called as a pulling force, meaning it takes the water, pulling force. At the base of the stem, you know, roots are the ones which supply water and minerals. Roots are the ones which supply water and the minerals up to certain height of the stem for a short distance. What is the pressure applied here? The pressure applied here, it's called root pressure. Now, what is root pressure here? It's called pushing force. It is called as what? A pushing force. So, here pushes the water. Pushing force means it applies the water, supply the water for a shorter distance. It supplies water for a shorter distance to the stem. For certain distance, it gives the water. That is why it is called pushing force. And who will take from there the water? Transpiration force. So, these two are very important. What are they? Root pressure is called pushing force and transpiration force is called as what? Pulling force, right? So, these two are very important. Try to remember, right? Now, let us continue further. Now, if you take the transpiration, you know that loss of water from stomata, it's called as transpiration. What is transpiration? Loss of water through stomata, it's called transpiration. Now, let us take the transpiration types. Now, altogether we can take three categories. Stomatal transpiration, cuticular transpiration, and next one is lenticular transpiration. So, transpiration occurs through stomata, transpiration occurs through cuticle, transpiration also occurs to lenticels. Okay, let us discuss this. You all know very well how transpiration occurs by stomata. Where the stomata is present? Stomata is present on the epidermis. Epidermis of stem and leaves. Where the stomata occurs? I repeat, stomata occurs on. Where the stomata occurs? Stomata occurs on epidermis of stem and epidermis of leaf. Okay. So, in this case what happens here? For example, if you look at dicot leaf, if you say You know, lower epidermis has more number of stomata. Lower epidermis has more number of stomata than upper epidermis. This we studied in anatomy. Stomatal transpiration meaning transpiration occurs through stomata. It's called stomatal transpiration. Now if you look at stomata occurs on epidermis of stem and leaves, especially if you take dicot leaf. What we studied in dicot leaf? A lower epidermis, you know, adaxial epidermis, abaxial epidermis, right? Adaxial epidermis, abaxial epidermis. Last class we have drawn the transverse section of the leaf. Upper epidermis, lower epidermis, mesophyll, palisade, spongy tissue, center we find vascular tissue. So in dicot leaf, lower epidermis has more number of stomata than upper epidermis. In generally, transpiration or the loss of water occurs in most of the plants by stomata. So, you know, stomatal transpiration accounts for 80 to 90%. Okay, I have taken the arrow mark from the stomata. Stomatal transpiration accounts for 80 to 90%. What is the meaning of this? In most of the plants, transpiration occurs by stomata. Right. Now coming to cuticular transpiration. You know, all of you, epidermis is covered by cuticle. Epidermis is covered by cuticle. So generally outer layer, in anatomy of first year you have drawn that epidermis is covered by cuticle. A cuticle, maybe it is thick layer, maybe it exists in the form of a thick layer, or it may exist in the form of a thin layer. Thick layer where you found in xerophytes. Thick layer found in xerophytes. In xerophytes what happens? Insignificant transpiration. Why do we say transpiration is insignificant? Why do we say transpiration is insignificant here? Because first of all, xerophytes found growing in dry and desert land. Now where cuticle occurs in thick layer, cuticle exists in the form of a thick layer, that is found in case of xerophytes. First of all, xerophytes grow in dry and desert environment, no water there. So loss of water is prevented by a thick cuticle. So there is a very insignificant transpiration means very little of transpiration. Why? Because the plant is not having water. So to prevent transpiration, it forms thick layer of cuticle. It prevents transpiration. That's why the transpiration rate is insignificant. Coming to cuticle, maybe it occurs in the form of a thin layer, and that is most commonly found in hydrophytes, because hydrophytes are the plants which found growing in ponds, lakes and water, right. So here it shows high rate of transpiration. Generally the plants which grow in water, they will be continuously losing water because they are completely floating on the surface of water. So in case of hydrophytes, we see high rate of transpiration because cuticle is a thin layer, it permits the loss of water because plant is having abundant quantity of water. Whereas in xerophytes, cuticle exists as a thick layer, it prevents transpiration. So transpiration is very minute, very trace, that is insignificant transpiration. Now coming to this cuticular transpiration, I say cuticular transpiration accounts for Where is the aroma coming from? Aroma coming from cuticular. Cuticular transpiration accounts for here 10 to 15%. Transpiration occurs by cuticle in some of the plants, that contributes 10 to 15%, but majorly it is by stomata. Most of the times it is by stomata. Now coming to lenticular transpiration. What are lenticular transpiration? Here you find lenticels. Lenticels on bark of cork layer. Bark of cork layer. Bark means you know it very well. Peridum in anatomy you studied, right? Cork cambium, you remember, right? Cork cambium and all that, right? So cork is nothing but outermost layer, itself is called as bark. On the bark you find a lens shaped openings are called as what? Lenticels. Guys, you studied about lenticels in the anatomy. Secondary growth of huge trees, you remember lenticels. Lens shaped openings which meant for exchange of gases and transpiration are present on the bark of cork layer, and also on lenticels on you can take fruit with hard pericarp. Fruit with hard pericarp. So where you find that lenticels? Lenticels are present on the bark of cork layer and they are present on fruit with hard pericarp. They are called as what? Lenticels, lens shaped openings, right? So lenticels also involved in transpiration along with the exchange of gases, but lenticular transpiration accounts for only 1 to 2%. Only 1 to 2%, very less loss of water occurs from lenticels. Overall that accounts for only 1 to 2%. Now in this, who is the major contribution here? Stomata. Stomatal transpiration. Where the stomata occurs? Stomata occurs on epidermis of stem and leaves, especially in dicot leaf. You can see the arrangement where a lower epidermis has more number of stomata than upper epidermis, and it accounts for 80 to 90%. Coming to cuticular transpiration, epidermis is covered by cuticle. It may be thick layer found in xerophytes where the transpiration is insignificant. A cuticle may exist as in the form of thin layer found in hydrophytes. In hydrophytes you can see high rate of transpiration. Altogether cuticular transpiration accounts for 10 to 15%. Coming to lenticels, called lenticular transpiration. Lenticels are found on the bark of cork layer or generally fruits which has hard pericarp, and it accounts for only 1 to 2%. So this is nothing but types of transpiration. Now, so what we discussed, majorly it occurs by what is called stomata. Majorly it occurs by stomata. Stomata contributes 80 to 90% of rate of transpiration. Now let us discuss about anatomy part. In anatomy we discussed structure of stomata. Let us quickly recollect what we have discussed in anatomy. So in the first year in the anatomy chapter we studied about stomata. There you studied about structure of stomata. So quickly let us recollect it, what we have discussed about stomata. Now if you look at, so you find two bean shaped structures. What you find here, center it's called stomatal pore. Stomatal pore. On either side of this pore, or opening, two bean shaped structures. These are called what? God cells. Right? Surrounding the God cells, what you find here? You know, the layer of cells called as subsidiary cells, or also called as accessory cells. What do we call? these cells are called, these layer of cells which protect the stomata are called subsidiary cells or accessory cells. So, in these subsidiary cells, accessory cells, we find chloroplast exist. So, inside this we find what is called, it contains chloroplast. It contains chloroplast. Right? Now, this is totally what we call stomatal complex. Stomatal complex, or we call stomatal aperture. Stomatal complex or stomatal aperture. Now, what else you studied? Now, if you observe carefully, inner layers of the stomata are thick in nature. So, find thick layers like this. So, inner layers are thick, and outer layers are thin. Where do you find outer layers? This is outer layer, right? So, I am drawing here, outer layers are thin. Okay, inner layers are thick and outer layers are thin. Sometimes we will get simple basic questions. Now, inner layers are thick or thin? They are thick. Outer layers are thin. So, inner layers, they orient radially and longitudinally rather than the outer layers. So, even you have to remember the basics of anatomy. Inner layers are thick, outer layers are thin. Now, the pore on either side you find bean shaped structures. What do you call them? We call them as God cells. So, if you look at in God cells, you know that God cells contain what? Chloroplast. So, here you can see the chloroplast. Here and there you can see the chloroplast. So, God cells contains, what are the things? Chloroplast. Along with the chloroplast you find vacuole. So, you can see here vacuole, and apart from this you can see cellulose microfibrils. So, you can see what are called cellulose microfibrils. So, these show cellulose microfibrils making the closing and opening of stomata. So, these are called, so here you find a cellulose microfibrils. What you find here? Cellulose microfibrils. So, here God cells, they protect and they make the opening and closing of stomata. Now, if you look at here, these contain chloroplast, vacuole and radial elongations. These are nothing but cellulose microfibrils. They makes the opening and closing of stomata. So, this is center one is called stomatal 4. So, opening and closing of the stomata is regulated by God cells. So, we need to quickly recollect it back about the structure of stomata. Now, let us straight away discuss about types of stomata. So, this you can remember, right? Let us discuss about types of stomata. So, what we are discussing? Stomata and its types. Okay, let us talk about first one. Under stomata types, let us talk about first one. The first type of stomata. Generally, when you take the first type of the stomata, it is called as epistomatus, or let us take it as hypostomatus, or itself is called as apple mulberry type. Okay, we are discussing about different types of stomata. What is the first one? It's called hypostomatus, as this condition is found in the apple and mulberry. So, this type of stomata is also called as apple mulberry type of stomata. So, what is hypostomata? Stomata occurs on, hypo means lower, so it occurs on lower epidermis. Whenever stomata occurs on the lower epidermis, when stomata occurs on the lower epidermis, it's called hypostomatus. It's called hypostomatus. Hypo means lower epidermis. So, stomata occurs on the lower epidermis. Where do you find such type of arrangement? So, you can take example. As I said, the name indicate it is occur in apple, it occurs in banyan tree, and also occurs in mulberry. As it is found in apple, banyan and mulberry, that is why this type of stomata is also called apple mulberry type of stomata. Now, coming to the second one, potato type. Potato type of stomata. What is potato type of stomata? Here it is said to be, or it is also called as, or better you write down only, amphistomatus. Amphistomatus and anisostomatic. Anisostomatic. What is meaning of amphi? Amphi means both layers. So, we say in this case stomata occurs on both upper epidermis and lower epidermis, or better you write down here itself, we also have written anisostomatic, no? Anisostomatus meaning unequal distribution. So, stomata occurs on both, but more number of stomata on lower epidermis than upper epidermis. Okay. Stomata occurs on both, that is more number of stomata on lower epidermis than upper epidermis. That means stomata occurs on both upper epidermis as well as lower epidermis, but the distribution amphi means both upper and lower. An isostomatic meaning here unequal number of stomata. Unequal number of stomata. Okay. So, amphistomatus meaning, amphi means stomata occurs on both upper epidermis and on lower epidermis, and moreover it is anisostomatic meaning unequal number of stomata. Unequal number of stomata, why? Because mostly in dicots we find more number of stomata on lower epidermis than upper epidermis. Such type, best example you can take potato itself. That is why it is also called as Solanum tuberosum. That is why it is also called potato type of stomata, Solanum tuberosum. Right? Next one. Then we find oat type of stomata. So, if you look at in oat type of stomata, we find amphistomatic and isostomatic. Okay, what's the meaning of amphi? Same. Amphi means stomata occurs on both upper epidermis and on lower epidermis. Isostomatic meaning here equal number of stomata occurs on both upper and lower epidermis. Upper and lower epidermis. Okay, so what is that? Equal number of stomata occurs on both upper and lower epidermis. Equal number of stomata. Equal number of stomata present on upper and lower. That means where it is present? It is present in monocots. Anisostomatic, where it is present? It is present in case of dicots. So here you can take examples. Examples of this, you can write oat as well as monocots like maize, rice and all will come. Oat, maize, rice, wheat all will come. Monocots. Monocots contain oat type of stomata. Dicots contain potato type of stomata. Then water lily type of stomata. In this case, water lily type of stomata, in this case what we find is called epistomatus. What is the meaning of epistomatus? Stomata occurs only on upper epidermis. Upper epidermis. What is the meaning of hypostomatus? Hypostomatus means stomata occurs only on lower epidermis. What is epistomatus? Stomata occurs on upper epidermis. Why stomata occurs only on upper epidermis? Because that they are hydrophytes, especially the such type of stomata is called water lily type of stomata, because this is found in case of hydrophytes. So hydrophytes, you can take example Nymphia and Neelambo. Okay, so water lily type of stomata you find in hydrophytes. Epidermis is stomata is present only on upper epidermis. Example Nymphia and Neelambo. Next category, Potamogeton type. Potamogeton type. What is this Potamogeton type? So here epidermis with non-functional stomata. Epidermis is with non-functional stomata. What is the meaning of that? Epidermis has stomata, meaning stomata is present, but it will not do the function. Non-functional stomata, meaning what? Stomata, here it is present, stomata is present, but it will not do the function. What is the function? Opening and closing. It is quietly, it will sit. It will not open nor it will not close. It will not do opening and closing. It is not involved in transpiration, not involved in exchange of gases. Stomata is present, but it is non-functional. Such type is called as Potamogeton type. Example here, the plant itself is called Potamogeton. Right? I hope you got it. So here if you take on the epidermis, here if you take this is epidermis, stomata is there, but it will not do no exchange of gases, it will not do loss of water, it will not exchange gases, nor it will not lose the water, it keeps quiet and it is called non-functional stomata. Stomata is present, but it will not do any function. It is called Potamogeton type of stomata. Example is Potamogeton. Right? Altogether we have discussed 5 types of stomata. First one is called apple mulberry type. Itself is called hypostomatus, meaning stomata occurs only on lower epidermis. Where do you find? Apple, banana, mulberry. Second category is called potato type of stomata. In this amphistomatus, amphi means present on, stomata present on upper epidermis as well as lower epidermis. and anisostomatic. Aniso means unequal number of stomata, unequal distribution of stomata. That means if you take dicots where more number of stomata on the lower epidermis than upper epidermis. Example, potato, Solanum tuberosum. That is why it is called potato type. Next one is oat type of stomata found in oat and maize. Here amphistomatous, meaning present both upper epidermis and lower epidermis, but it is said to be isostomatic, meaning equal number of stomata occurs on both upper epidermis and on lower epidermis. So here fourth one is water lily type of stomata. In this epistomatous, epi means stomata occurs only on upper epidermis. You find in case of hydrophytes. Hydrophytes you find in case of nymphia and Neelambo. I think the last part is visible. I think it is visible, right? I will check it out 1 second, it is visible or not. Okay. So, if you take, this is stomata, I think this is not visible, this is not visible, this is stomata only, nothing else, this is stomata. So, here next one is Potamogeton type, epidermis with non-functional stomata. What I have written is non-functional stomata. Stomata is present, but it is not do any function. Example, Potamogeton, where stomata will not participate in the any of the function. So, these are nothing but types of stomata. Based on the shape, we all know very well, stomata is classified into how many types? Stomata is classified into 2 types. What are they? We say that bean shaped or rainiform shaped, or we call kidney shape. Where do you find this shape of stomata? Kidney shaped stomata. Where do you find? We all know this is found in case of dicots. So, you know this is found like this, right. So, here dicots, or most commonly we can see another example is dorsiventral leaf. Why do you call dorsiventral leaf? Dorsal side is different from ventral side, right. So, here you can see bean shape, rainiform, kidney shaped stomata, most commonly found in case of dicots, very clearly visible on dorsiventral leaf, right. Similarly, we say dumbbell shaped stomata. Now, dumbbell shaped stomata where you can find? Most commonly we find in case of monocots. Where do we find? Most commonly in case of monocots, are very clearly observed in case of isobilateral leaf. Yes or no? Right. So, kidney shaped we can identify in dicots, especially on dorsiventral leaf or dorsiventral leaf. Here dumbbell shaped stomata you can observe in monocots, or very clearly we can observe in case of isobilateral leaf. So, this is bean shape, and what is the dumbbell shape of the stomata? How does it look like? It looks like this, right. It looks like this. So, dumbbell shaped stomata present in monocots are clearly seen in isobilateral leaf. Kidney shaped or rainiform or we say bean shaped stomata found in case of dicots or more clearly can be seen in dorsiventral leaf, right. Now, similarly stomata, whenever stomata fills with water, where we can see opening, where we can see what is called closing. So, when stomata becomes turgid, turgid means what here? It fully fills with what? Water due to endosmosis of water. Turgid due to endosmosis of water, meaning what? Water is entering. What is happening here? Water is entering. So, when water enters here, what happens? It becomes turgid. Then it causes closing of stomata. Oh, turgid no? Yeah, opening of stomata. It causes what? Opening of stomata. I hope it is clearly understood, right. So, when stomata becomes turgid, due to endosmosis of water, that means water enters in all directions, then stomata will get open like this. When becomes turgid, it will get open, it causes opening of stomata. Then when stomata becomes flaccid, how? Due to exosmosis of water, meaning what? Water is going out. Exosmosis means water is going out. Then stomata becomes flaccid like this. This causes closing of stomata. You know, I think very clear difference between these two. So, what is that? When stomata becomes turgid due to endosmosis of water, water enters inside, that causes opening. That means when God cells, stomata or you can say God cells, when God cells becomes turgid due to endosmosis of water, it causes opening of stomata. When God cells becomes flaccid, they lose water, water is going out. Due to exosmosis of water, it causes closing of stomata. Turgidity of God cells, opening of stomata, flaccidity of God cells, closing of stomata. And you remember, dicots has bean shaped or rainiform shape or dorsiventral leaf. In case of monocots or isobilateral leaf, we find what is called dumbbell shaped stomata.